Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Bobble Pod. Before I begin, as always, don't forget to like, follow and subscribe across our podcast channels. And if you're on YouTube, hello YouTube, don't forget to follow and click on the bell notification so you're updated on when our next episodes come out. So this episode is called Viral on TikTok. And we're going to talk about this because of a viral video we had as Bobble that on our TikTok channel that went obviously viral with over 4 million views and some extended videos that we did, because today we are joined by our head of business development, James McCann.
Hello, thank you very much. Great to be on the podcast finally. Been looking forward to joining. So yeah, thanks for having me on.
So I know a lot of our followers on TikTok, when we do some snippets and cutouts, are going to be really happy to see James on our podcast. He's literally what everybody always asks for. More content of James, please. And I don't know if it's a James channel right now or a Bobble channel. So we actually have the video. So if you're on YouTube, you're going to be able to see it because we'll have the clip up in the top right somewhere. Playing with some wizardry from our videographer Josh. But if you go to the video on our TikTok, it's the one pinned at the top. It's got 4 million views, and essentially, I'm going to play it now. It's a short video which was jumping on a trend, and it said, "He's a 10, but randomly bursts out like this 7 times a day."
Nicki Minaj.
It highlighted a number of things, this video, that we obviously were aware of. I was aware of, obviously, as a owner, as boss of your background, which is that James here has Tourette's.
I do, yeah. It was I've kind of always known since I was little that I had Tourette's, and it's something that I've just like really tried to keep it within and like just stay quiet, because I think it was very much misunderstood. Certainly when I was younger and at school and things like that, I think people thought I was just seeking attention really by making noises and things. And, you know, maybe I was to a certain extent. But yeah, I think I've just learned over time just to kind of embrace it and just make it clear to everybody that, yes, sometimes I will burst out with random songs or maybe say things that I shouldn't say. But it's not something that, again, I'm ashamed of whatsoever now. And when it came to the TikTok, our social media girl, Sophie, she said, "Oh, it'd be really good to like get a video." And I said, "Well, just the next time I sing," I said, "just get the camera in front of me." And obviously I sing like every 2 seconds. So yeah, there we go. And I just randomly did it's the Lucky Man over in Tenerife, the famous guy. And he, for $10, he'll sing, "Very good, very nice." Followed by "Hello, Sexy Banana" or Nicki Minaj.
It was absolutely hilarious when we watched it back, because it's authentic content. I always say authentic content goes viral. And yeah, that hit 4 million. We went from like 86 followers on TikTok to now 5,400 followers on TikTok. That video blew up. But what happened on the day was Jane wasn't really aware of it, but we kind of just like, Sophie just in the corner had a camera on him at random times of the day. I actually wasn't in office for this, so I wasn't even able to sign it off. But she just had like to capture it authentically. She had a camera on you and you didn't know, and you kind of just played on. There were some stuff that followed up from that where people say, "Can you do the Muffin Man?"
Yeah.
And then
the Muffin Man?
Yeah, and the Muffin Man one went down. We tagged people in. But it showed the importance of engaging and not just having one particular video on TikTok. So that content led to us creating more content, a bit of a remix. And we created, about 4 or 5 videos from that?
Something like that, yeah.
Which the combined value of viewership is probably close to 6 million overall. But obviously it took our channel to the next level, and it continues to grow, and those videos still continue to get views and likes and comments even to this day. So that is a viral video that went on TikTok. But the reason we're talking about it today is because we want to talk about, obviously, the challenges of dealing with Tourette's and workplace. And you and me had a conversation about this. It's like, well, why don't we talk about the video, but to make sure we raise a little bit of awareness about, because as business owners, we also struggle, well, not struggle, but have to deal with circumstances where you might have someone who has Tourette's or has or some other form of, I wouldn't say it's a disability, but might have a physical disability or might have something else. And obviously mental health and raising awareness is very positive, especially when you can probably sing my praise instead of me singing my own praise, but of what we do here at Bobble Digital. So what challenges have you faced prior to being at Bobble in terms of dealing with your Tourette's in the work?
It can be tricky. Certainly earlier on in my career, very much some of the jobs I worked in were very quiet offices. Everybody was kind of head down. And for me, it was like insane just having to be quiet every day, and like almost felt like I wanted to sellotape my mouth sometimes. So I just like didn't randomly burst out with stuff. And for some people, it is annoying. Some of the comments on the big TikTok video, the 4 million one, a few people. I mean, most of it was really positive, and I got some lovely stuff. But a few people were like, he would drive me insane, or I would kill that guy if he worked in the office, or thank God we can work from home. So yeah, I think from my point of view, it was kind of just staying quiet and trying to keep whatever was in my mouth in my head, because I mean, people say you come out with a load of rubbish. And I said, well, can you imagine some of the stuff which doesn't get past my lips, which I kind of had to stop just randomly thinking of stuff. Should
we have an unfiltered version of you in the office one day?
Maybe. Yeah.
Just to see what he comes out with. We'll get Josh to come in and put the camera on him and see what he comes out with. And we'll only share the things we are allowed to share without Callum getting, Callum will do the editing. He censors everything we say. You talked about how you use that to channel your approach within the workplace, because obviously you work in a role which is very customer facing, very face to face. You're dealing with people on the phone, you're dealing with people on Zoom calls in terms of introductories, you're pitching, you're with me on Thursday at the marketing showcase, talking to people that will approach exhibition stands. You talk about how you channel that into your approach. Just explain that a little bit more for me and the viewers.
I think really the key is using the energy in a good way. I think the issue with Tourette's, there's something inside of you that is almost like a release. Just imagine maybe a tap or a valve or something like that. And once you think of something in your head, it kind of has to come out. So I use that energy in things like pitches or the marketing showcase, for example, what will be, come along and join us, by the way, will be great because I don't have to then sit and think about things. It's natural. I'm speaking to different people. And I think as long as my mind's occupied, then they're generally okay. I think it just tends to be the quieter moments. For example, if I'm putting a presentation together or writing an email, that's when it can just come out. I think yesterday, Darcy mentioned that I was just writing an email and I said, wash your dog in the bath. And I didn't even realize I'd said it. And she said, what are you talking about?
I was laughing, but I should have laughed. I can't help it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I just got to give a disclaimer. By the time this comes out, we would have already done the showcase. So if you do turn up and you do see this afterwards, great, thank you. But this is scheduled to come out in a couple of weeks. So what more can be done then to raise awareness about Tourette's and tics that people have in the work?
I think making it acceptable. Like, I'm more than happy to poke fun at myself. That's why I think the second set of TikTok videos that we did after the first one went massively viral. We wanted to raise awareness of it because loads of people had commented, that's a Tourette's tic, that's ADHD stim, which I've not been diagnosed with that. Pretty sure that's kind of on my agenda as well. But a lot of people said, oh yeah, this guy, or has he got Tourette's, or is it this? And then we wanted to say, yeah, it is. And it's fine. And I think by not just making fun of it, but actually showing this is the kind of office we have and this is the culture and the environment, it's acceptable. And it's actually okay to be like that. Nobody is the same. No person in a workforce or no workforce has people who are all the same and the same personality and same sense of humor. And that kind of extends to personality traits as well, and things like Tourette's. So I think just being open and honest about it, and I'm more than happy to poke fun at myself and have a laugh about it. So it's fine for other people too.
That's good. I think, if you look at our TikTok, there's a lot of us poking a lot of fun at ourselves. So it's not just, don't worry, it's not just a load of content of James and we're just taking Michael out of his. Tourette's or something. There's only a few videos that we followed up from that to raise awareness. Some people had, can you do, like we mentioned earlier, the Muffin Man, which you were happy to do, just to keep the content engagement going. But that is part of like a standard TikTok. If something works, you might want to do a follow-up video or two just to continue that engagement, support the original video to get more videos and likes and engagements, and keep that content going. And now even when we're doing social events or social activities on our TikTok, you feature quite prominently on that, which I think is very, very good. But as a platform, has TikTok helped raise awareness? Has it helped you? Has it helped us, do you think, as a company or the team?
I think not even in terms of awareness. I think it certainly helped the company to raise awareness. Like you said, I think we had 80 followers, and then it's like 5,500 now. And that's not just people who are aware of our products and services, but our culture and our values and things like that. But from my point of view, I was in London a few weeks ago, and a girl ran up to me on the street and said, "Oh my God, it's James from TikTok." And I'm like, as if.
He's famous now.
and I've had so many old school friends get in touch with me and say, "Is this you?" Or like being tagged on Facebook, or people sending me LinkedIn messages. And it's fantastic. So it certainly helped from that perspective. But I think from a commercial point of view as well, we've had new business inquiries from people calling us up and saying, "Oh, you guys went viral on TikTok. You've got loads of followers. Can you help do the same for my business?" So it's great from that perspective as well.
Yeah, you never know what's going to go viral. I'll just say that. So it's never easy. You just got to, it's a case of like literally shooting an arrow at a board and hoping it sticks. And sometimes you hit it and you get some good engagement and views. Sometimes you hit bullseye and you get lucky. There's no tactic to go viral other than following a process of making engaging, new, authentic content. And if you notice there's a trend of what's ever gone viral, it's stuff that's authentic, that's come out and not being forced or played with. Consumers like consuming authentic content, relatable content. Some of the comments, I remember reading through some of them myself on the phone, was like, "Oh, what a great place that would be to work," or "Oh, can I have a job at Bobble Digital?" And we're like, "We're not hiring right now." Sorry. But it has obviously helped. And I think TikTok is a platform where it's still in its infancy, where it's all about organic reach. So the more you can do to raise awareness, we've highlighted TikTok as a platform with previous people, not to kind of name drop, but like people like Andrew Tate, who used the platform to build his reputation, to build his following. But I've said it previously, like, you know, as an individual, you have a choice to listen or not to listen to content, but that doesn't mean you choose to ignore the problem. So people can, you know, watch the content and laugh at it and laugh at threats, but then it's, if you feel like you have an obligation, you feel strongly about it, you have an opportunity to, you know, stand up. And that's why we made the follow-up content to raise awareness, saying, well, actually, that's the comment and engagements we're getting. We should do something about this. So we could have just left it at that, but we chose not to. We spoke to it about with you, and you were happy to do it. And that's the key thing. Obviously, we got your approval. You were happy to do it, and it's a good cause overall. And next year, we'll look at some charities and some other ways we can do to support people and build our processes. I mean, to us, we've never really been fazed by it in the workplace, have we? We've come since day one. It kind of like adds to the atmosphere in our office space, really. So it's kind of like it's part of the furniture now.
Yeah, every now and again, you know, you're going to get a sexy banana or a Nicki Minaj or a chicken nugget or something like that. But yeah, it's great for me as well just to know that it's not an issue. Obviously, you were aware straight away. I don't think I'd actually mentioned it to you overtly before I started, but I think probably within one day you were like, "Oh yeah, this guy's not quite normal."
Yeah, the first week I was like, "Is this normal behavior of a newbie?" No, but he can't be blind to it. It was quite obvious, and you don't want to stare it out. And then you've got to respect the individual for him to have the confidence and ability to make you aware on their own terms as well. You made me aware in the first week. You were like, "Oh, if you see me do all this stuff like that, by the way, I've just got a couple of tics, Tourette's, and you know, if you ignore me, it's easy for me to deal with." So we try our hardest to just ignore him in the office. Even anything else he says when it's not related to Tourette's or tics, we just ignore him. He's like, "Does anybody want a sandwich?" "No, can't hear you, mate." No, but thanks for coming on, James. Thanks for sharing your story as well. More importantly, thanks for helping us go viral on TikTok and, you know, increasing our followers by 5,000. I hope we can do a lot more to help raise awareness. Is there any last comments or advice you'd give to anyone else who's in your situation in a work?
Honestly, just be yourself. And sadly, if you do work in a company or a culture where it's not kind of acceptable, then that's their issue. It's not your issue. And I think that needs paying attention to as well. But just the more you are yourself, the less likely it is to be an issue. Because I think certain triggers for me could be if I'm stressed, if I'm nervous, if people point it out to me as well, the Tourette's, that actually it actually makes it worse, as you could just see then, for example. So yeah, just open up and make everybody aware of it, I think, early doors as well, because, you know, like you say, you could be halfway through an email and say, wash your dog in the bath. And they're like, what are you talking about? But if people are aware ahead of time, I know it's bad. It's bad. There's other things in my head, which I'm really trying not to say at the minute as well. So yeah, open up and be yourself. That's all I can say.
Yeah, and you got to be yourself because people need to understand who you are as a character personality in the workplace. So that kind of summarizes this episode, Viral on TikTok. It's more about James. So check out our channel if you get a moment. Leave your comments and thoughts. If there's anything else that we could share and improve or make you aware of, let us know. Thanks again, James, for joining us. You'll be joining us for another talk about generating business in a recession, talking more about your actual expertise within the role, which is our next episode. So don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe so you're aware of that episode coming up. We only have one more episode after that to finish season 3. And then we're launching season 4 in January, where we're actually doing more regular recordings, more guests on each one. So a lot more content coming through. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be new, really taking Bobble Pod to the limit to which it can potentially reach. So thank you for listening. Don't forget to tag us in at Bobble Digital with any questions or queries you have. Don't forget to use hashtag Mr. Bobble or Ask Bobble or hashtag Bobble Pod if you want to comment, share, or like any of our content. Thank you for listening.
Cheers.